Your life is your greatest masterpiece. And just like the painter does not wage war against its canvas, you do not need to wage war against the reality that you are existing in. Instead, see the opportunity to bring balance, the invitation to offer harmony. Because we have to remember that is how reality works. It's the yin and the yang. Evil is a concept made up in man's mind. There is no such thing as evil. There was just balance. And so if you don't like what you see, I highly encourage you to not wage war against what you see, because what are you going to create? Exactly what your intention just said, war. You're going to create a mess. And so instead, see the opportunity and the invitation from the universe saying, here you go, here's your opportunity to be this wonderful leader that you've so wanted to be your entire life. Here's your opportunity to stand up, because we have to remember, Saturn is in Aquarius. So all of us are really seeking a cause right now. For the next 2 years, this is about everybody really discovering who are they to community? Who are they to society? What do they believe in? What do they want to see the world become? And so as everybody's kind of sorting through what their reality is, yes, there's a lot of interesting options as far as what people can become a part of and what cause they can really believe. But this is where this Mercury retrograde that is going to be beginning on the end of the month, September, I think 27th, is really going to be asking us, are we living authentically as who we are to the world around us? When this Mercury goes retrograde, and the reason I'm bringing up the Mercury retrograde right now is because the shadow actually began on the 7th. So the shadow zone is the first past. Mercury doesn't actually go backwards. It's just the degree points. Because of our orbit and Mercury's orbit, we seem to be going faster, Mercury seems to be going slower, but the degree points, the angles, because that's what astrology is based on, is the angles from planets and us, have a relationship so that planet goes 3 times. Just imagine that. It's just very basic, just degree points 3 times. So the first pass began on the 7th of September. And so that first pass is going to be continuing until, I think it's September 27th. So on the 27th, that's when Mercury is going to go retrograde. Again, doesn't actually go backwards, just looks like it's going to go backwards because we're going to speed up and go a little bit faster. So as it goes retrograde, it's going to go backwards those degrees. And so when we think about when a planet goes backwards, when it's going forward the first time, the shadow, this is the first pass. This is when the story is kind of rapid fire. So because it's in Libra, it's really paying attention to the kaleidoscope of symbols that you are picking up from other people. What are they telling you? It really actually depends on where Libra is in your chart. But what I can say is just pay attention to your reflections, to the people in your life, the reality that you have around you. Just really pay attention to the symbols and start extracting the information about your own karmic journey. What is your journey about? Who are you to community? And as you extract this information from the reflections in your life, really ask yourself, are you being seen as how you truly want to be seen? Have you been indoctrinated in viewpoints, in ways of thinking that are not yours? If so, this Mercury retrograde is a wonderful time to really get back your authentic voice, your authentic paintbrush, so that you can paint your life and really be the master creator of your reality. Because we have to remember is that this is a karmic journey, and that Libra really represents the scales, right? It represents the balance, the balancing act, the harmonizing act. If we are going to act one way, we are going to see the exact opposite, or we're going to see that reflection until it is balanced. This is why in Buddhist traditions, it's all about balance. It's all about seeking that medium way. Because even when we think about these 2 extremes happening, we have the anti-vax, the vax, they're so extreme. There's just so much extremism going on. But I'll tell you what, in the middle, it is so clear. In the middle, it is so peaceful. because you see the irrational behavior happening on both sides. And that doesn't mean I don't choose. It just means that my opinion is my opinion and it doesn't matter to anybody else but me. And so this is that opportunity with this Mercury retrograde to really ask ourselves, have we been indoctrinated? How are we being seen? Are we actually being our authentic self? Because then when Mercury goes retrograde on the 27th of September, this is when the lessons start to come, because the second pass is usually when we're kind of like, we have the candle, right? The first pass, we had no idea what was going on. We just saw these kaleidoscope of symbols, people, reflections, things were said, we picked up on things, whatever, right? A lot of things kind of go on, a lot of things, sometimes transportation like things. But again, it depends on where Mercury is or Libra is in your chart. So look at that and see. Because when that retrograde begins, it's all about the work. It's all about kind of crashing into things, needing to slow down. Because Mercury's going slow, and Mercury represents the mind. Mercury represents the messenger of the gods. And so because this is a big story, right? Obviously with everything going on, Mercury wants us to slow, because we have to listen. We have to check in. Are we ourselves? Because if you're getting that resistance from Mercury, slowing you down, making you stop, contemplate. Ask yourself, are you living in your authentic voice? Are you the master creator of your life, of your reality? Because everything that you put on your canvas, everything that you think, speak, act, every single little thing that you do, you are painting on your canvas. And this is where we have to be mindful. I see a lot of, spiritual people saying they're waging war. It's a spiritual war. I don't know if war is the correct word to be using as much as it is harmonizing. Because if there are things in this world that are just dark to us and we don't like, harmonize, offer balance, because this is reality. There's always the yin and the yang and till we get to the balance, right? And then maybe the yin and the yang have less extremes, right? But we have to get there first, and that balance begins in us. And that's what this Mercury retrograde journey is really all about. Getting our authentic voice, being the master painter of our reality. Because then when Mercury goes back forward for the third pass, which is October, sorry I don't have the dates, I forgot to check before I did this video. It's October, October 19th. So October 19th, when Mercury goes forward, October 19th. When Mercury goes forward, this is going to be the third pass. It's usually a little bit easier because we're going forward now, right? We're through the retrograde, we're through the shadow. Now we should know. We should have complete control over our canvas again, over our mind. And so, Mercury retrograde is not a bad thing. Mercury is the messenger of the gods. Libra is the one that helps us balance our karma, right? And so we have to look. You can't deny that the reality that you're living in, whether you like it or not, you've created it. Past life actions, this life actions, we have to just take that ownership responsibility and say, this is the reality I'm living in, and I want to see it be better. So I'm going to harmonize. I'm going to offer love. I'm not going to have strong beliefs that are going to cause, aggravation with other people. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't stand up for what you believe in. It's just saying, don't get lost. Don't get lost in your opinion. Don't get lost in the opportunity to help another receive balance. Because maybe that's what we all need, right? Maybe some people everybody is such a different person. Everybody has such a different capacity of understanding. And the best thing that we can do for anybody is offer balance, offer acceptance for their point of view, hear them out, and then remember they're on their own karmic journey. And what you need to get from them is your own karmic understanding of who they are to you, what they represent about you, right? We have to remember that, we create our reality. Everything is energy. Why do you have that energy inside of you, right? If that's what you're attracting, that's what you're attracting. And apparently, when we look at a lot of things going on in astrology right now, all of this is really kind of predicted. When you look at Uranus and Taurus, it's like, okay, we were supposed to go back to living in a more natural, healthy way. Uranus and Taurus. Yeah, how are we going to get there? Well, apparently we needed a pandemic to kind of get us there. And yeah, some people are going to be like, oh, but it's going the opposite direction. People are getting shots and da 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 da. Well, Uranus works so many different ways, and what I can encourage for everybody is, if you want to have a peaceful life, just return to planet Earth. Return to existing in more traditional, sustainable ways. And when we do look at the world, it does look like, some people are making an effort, not everybody. Maybe everybody is, I don't know. But let's just all remember that with Uranus and Taurus, this is kind of predicted, that we would have some sort of catastrophic event that would cause all of us to wake up. And look how we're treating the planet, because Uranus and Taurus wants us to see that there's more to this planet Earth. And we need to look beyond these traditions that have so encaged us and see that we are the creators. We are the ones that make things grow with our intention, with our effort. And so if we do want to see a better world, it takes effort. It takes patience. It takes kindness and love and community. And so, yes, Uranus and Taurus gave us a pandemic. I thought we were going to have a lot of disasters, which we are still having. And so, this, and then we have Saturn in Aquarius, why everybody's so has a cause and has an opinion and wants to be a leader, wants to be heard, wants to be seen. It's Saturn in Aquarius. It's going to be 2 years. And this is why the best thing you can do for anybody right now, if you want to live in a peaceful world, is ask them what they believe in. Really ask them to check in. What do they believe in? What do they believe the meaning of life is? And how are they adding to community? Right? We need to get people to start thinking, right? That's what we all do. That's what our reflections do. We should be thinking about what we're doing all the time, right? That's why people question us. The best thing we can do is just help, empower everybody. Every single person is unique, has their own capacity, and deserves love. No matter what opinions they have, no matter what opinions you have, right? You have to offer harmony. That's what this Mercury retrograde is about. So why I'm bringing this up is I want you to live maybe a more harmonious life, because if you're really not aligned with your voice and you're not the master creator of your own painting, it might be kind of hard, right? If you're not really connected to the earth and living in natural ways, I guess Uranus is really not going to make your life super easy for you. And if Saturn in Aquarius, if you're going to allow somebody else to give you a cause to believe in, that might get a little bit tricky later on in your life when you realize what you committed to. So I think that's where we all just need to have a little bit of more compassion for others, knowing that, there's been a lot of causes thrown at everybody. Do you believe this? Do you believe that? Do you believe this? Do you believe that? Right? There's so much duality, but we have to see that there's a cosmic order, right? Like I was saying, the planets doing all this stuff. There's a cosmic order. There's a reason why. It doesn't have to be so chaotic, but sometimes people have to experience chaos to just wake up, to just begin, right? They need to run into the brick wall. First, this is how some planets work. The first time, especially Uranus, gives you a little bit of a wake-up call. Hey, you should do this, right? We all kind of have known for a while, hey, we should probably treat the earth better and live in more natural ways, right? We got that wake-up call, and then we got a little smack across the face and still didn't really do anything. Maybe we did, and then we just completely get bricks thrown at us, and maybe some people think they can dodge them but still get hit, and then they run into a brick wall next. You just have to remember, some planets just really don't give up, because we really need to change our ways, because it's part of our evolution. We don't need these traditions that are destroying the earth, these things. We need to reclaim our own power of fertility. And that is what Uranus wants all of us to see is how magical and creative we are, okay? So that's the Mercury retrograde story. Mercury retrograde, again, we're only in the shadow. The shadow is just the first pass, so it's just kind of being in this like kaleidoscope of symbols of people and what are they representing about your own karmic journey, and really just paying attention to your reflections and extracting the relevant information from your reflections. What are they telling you about who you are? Because then when the retrograde begins, it's all about transcending that duality by seeing there's a greater cosmic order happening, and your painting is essential for the gallery of the universe. And so don't forget to paint your painting, because in its essential part, it's a it's a masterpiece of work, master art piece, whatever. You're a shining star, right? Just think of you're going to be shining in the universe that much brighter when you leave this planet. So that is the Mercury retrograde report. If you'd like to have your chart looked at, you can contact me at 11kaivarose33.com, and I can give you a reading just to kind of help you navigate how this Mercury retrograde, Uranus, Saturn story. Because the thing about astrology, why I love it so much, it just is such a beautiful flower of life. I mean, it just speaks exactly, tick tock tock, it's the clock, tells you exactly what's going to happen. It's the cosmic order, right? I mean, the universe, right? And we're a part of that. And these big balls of energy, that's all it is, big balls of energy, just affecting us here on planet Earth, because we have different particles, different frequencies that exist inside of us, and when planets do certain things, they pull that frequency, they affect that frequency. So it's all very mystical, magical, and astrology is fantastic. So if you like a reading, you can contact me at 11kaivarose33.com. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Patreon. If you'd like to get discounts off your reading and support my work, you can sign up on patreon.com/kaivarose. And other than that, please do like, subscribe, share, whatever works for you, works for me to just get this content out there so that people can feel empowered and we can all live in a more harmonious existence. All right, other than that, I'll talk to you soon.